223, please. P21 stroke 118.
Yes, I wrote to Rachel Almond, and her reply is subject to the agenda item today.
Okay, thank you. Page 224. That's it. Thank you very much. Item 6, which is planning conditions, to discuss response from Rachel Almond, which has just been said, Service Manager, West Suffolk Council. Any comments? Vicky, is there anything you can say on this?
Well, I forwarded the email to everybody, so you should have that.
Right, is there any comments from anyone? No? Councillor Burns?
So I haven't seen that email, so I'm not saying what it says, and I wasn't at the meeting. I suspect it relates to the fact that for small developments, they never put any conditions, such as building on it. I had a discussion with this at Development Control a few months back, saying I thought that every planning application should have conditions on it. And they said they only do it for larger developments, which I think was a bit strange. I don't know if that's what the answer was. So I don't know what it was.
Yes, that's correct. Councillor Brown?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Rachel says that they don't normally put them on the smaller developments, but sometimes those developments are right in the middle of busy, very habited streets, etc. And I would say 95% of people that do work on the house are absolutely fine and don't cause any problems to their neighbours. But on the odd occasion, there are people that do and don't care. And because there's nothing written in the conditions, they can get away with it virtually. Otherwise, it's contact environmental health, and we all know how long environmental health take to react to anything. So there should be conditions in there, and at least something like no noisy work after 8 o'clock or something like that. In most cases, most neighbours will be give and take, and there won't be any problem whatsoever. But on the odd occasion where you do get someone that just doesn't care, the poor residents nearby, with children that are getting kept up awake at night, they've got school in the next morning, etc. There does need to be something, and I think we should insist that there is. Why should large scale developments have them and not small scale developments, which tend to be amongst houses?
Yeah, I entirely agree on that. Is there anyone who wants to speak on that? Councillor Liz Smith, and then Councillor Crooks.
I agree totally with Tony. I think perhaps we should write again to express our dismay at this and suggest that perhaps they do put those on those letters, some conditions. I wouldn't have thought if you've got a template it would take too much difficulty to do so. So I would propose that we write again and ask if they will do that for us.
Okay, Councillor Crooks.
As Rachel said, it's very, very rare that they receive complaints from these small developments. So Rachel should know. She overviews the whole of West Suffolk planning, so I believe her. It's very rare. And I don't think we should be putting more red tape into the planning system, especially for small developments where you're just putting an extension on the side of your house. So no, I think we're fine how we are. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other person want to speak? No? Councillor Brown. I'll say Councillor Brown, then Councillor Burns.
I take full account of what Councillor Crooks Jason said, and he's right. In most cases, there's no problem whatsoever, and people get on and there's give and take. But say on these odd occasions where there aren't, the poor resident hasn't got any redress, to get it sorted other than through environmental health. And as I say, as we know, environmental health, all the times that I've involved environmental health in anything, it's been an absolute torturous nightmare process. And the time anything ever came to get done, if it ever did get done, the house would have been built, and the kids would have left school. That would, so I think that if there was something in there, in most 99% of cases, I'm sure it wouldn't be used, but it's in the odd occasion, where there is disruption caused to people's lives. They just have not got any redress. I would like to propose that we do go forward.
We've already got a proposer.
All right, I second it then. Yeah.
Right, okay. Councillor Burns, thank you.
Yeah, I was going to. I don't like to go against my erstwhile colleague, but that's one of the reasons I raised it up a few months ago at Development Control, is because there's been numerous complaints to enforcement. The planners don't often hear about it. Although Rachel is in charge of that department, it never gets beyond enforcement. And we all know enforcement, in the best will in the world, are fail to do their job. We've also had the same problems with large developments where they fail to put those same paragraph, as Councillor Smith says. It's just a boilerplate template. All they've got to do is either copy and paste, or if they've got macros or something, just press it in. I can't see that it's a big deal to add that in, as much as they would put on things like electric charging points or 110 litres of water and all that sort of stuff. If it's a new one single house or something. So I think, yes, if that's what they've said in that letter, I think it's a case of they should do it as part of their job. That's what they get. That's what they're highly paid officers for. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Any more comments? No? Right, we've had a proposer from Liz Smith. I expect, Vicky, you've got all them points. Yeah. We've also spoken about it at the last meeting as well. And we've got seconder from Councillor Brown. All those in favour, please show. Any against? One against, right. Thank you, that's carried. Right, thank you very much. Right, the next one on the agenda is item 7, which is Persimmon, Homes, Phase 2B. To note correspondence from Stuart McAdam regarding the amendments to the proposals. Right, you've all got the email and seen the new proposals. Is there any comments on this? Because I think on today's email, was it today? That it's going back to Planning Committee in August. So is there any comments on this at all, on the new proposal? Councillor Mason, I see he's got his hand up, a virtual hand, and then Councillor Dave Smith. You're muted, Joe.
Thank you, Chair. This has been a bit of an ongoing saga regarding this 2B, and overall, I think I'm pleased that Persimmon have presented the 3-storey alternate design. My screen is frozen. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, loud and clear. It's really good.
All right, okay. So I kind of welcome the move away from the 4-storey development. For the record, I don't wish to see any future designs for any of the other parcels of land to incorporate any 4-storey buildings, and I hope that Persimmon has heard members and the community voice their concerns about this. I'd like to thank members who sat on development control to support the deferral from Councillor John Burns. That certainly seemed to have a desired effect to encourage Persimmon to review their planning procedures. I don't think the plans are perfect. I was having a look at the bin locations, and properties near 85 and 84, which weirdly are at opposite ends of the plot, have ridiculous long routes in which to take their bins, and I cannot see that there won't be some problems with the bins. There's been quite a few changes to the properties. It would have been nice had Stuart McAdam been present so that we could have asked him the necessity of those. I wonder if any of the members have checked, just double check and make sure that they all fall within national limits. It seems it came as a bit of a surprise to see quite so many changes to the properties. But overall, as I say, thanks to the members who sat on development control and helped exert some influence. Comments from residents seem to be they are generally accepting of a 3-storey design, and I'm hoping that maybe we can move forward now. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Before I go to Councillor Dave Smith, has development control introduced a minimum size standard? They haven't yet. Are they going to? Are they thinking of it? Can someone comment on that? Councillor Burns?
It would be in the new local plan.
Oh, right. Right.
So, but they are thinking about it. But things like this are a lot of it is, you know, the old adage of, oh, it wasn't in outline, unfortunately. But yeah, so no, there's no minimum space down. The only thing that they put into the thing now is what I mentioned earlier on about the 110 litres of water usage, and they've now started putting EV stuff on it, but not at the moment, no.
Right, because yeah, because I think Councillor Mason sort of referred to that. We knew, you know, we did complain to Stuart McAdam, and he said he's thinking about it. He didn't say whether he will for the next phase, but he's just sort of taken our points into consideration, because we all, you know, me personally and most of the committee are sort of very hot on minimum size standards as well. Ourselves, we don't like it. It's not healthy. It's not good for the poor residents that go in there. So that's the way, you know, that's the way the most of the committee feels in any case. Councillor Dave Smith?
Yeah, I think Persimmon have tried to address the issues that were raised at the development control. It's less jarring, the appearance of the flats now, with the sloping roof. Sorry, I can't remember the technical term there. It is still a very high roof, though. The point of the roof is probably even higher than a 4-storey building. But the fact that it is a sloped roof has a more pleasing effect to the eye. So I don't really think there's anything there we could go against.
Yeah. I went on a training course about, oh dear, not the local plan, but the more one where the towns and villages, local area plan, is it called? It's a more
Neighbourhood plan.
Neighbourhood plan.
Thank you, Councillor Burns. Yeah, and some of them that's gone through have put things on there, and apparently if you can get it through to the government, if it goes through and is approved to the government, it's more legal than, you know, it overrides, sorry, it's not more legal, it overrides the local plan. And there is some that's put proviso on there in their particular area that you can only build 2-storey houses. That's the maximum height, is 2-storey houses. Now, I thought there might have been 2.5-storey, but some have got away with actually 2-storey houses, which really surprised me. Councillor Burns?
Yeah, neighbourhood. It depends on what orders they go. You know, the local plan that we're working on, which comes out, 2024. If we did a local neighbourhood plan here in Haverhill in 2025, basically it supplements whatever the local plan does and enhances it. So you could put in things like there that. I don't know, all houses of, I'm not saying you would do this, but all houses must be for local people, that sort of thing. There was a legal argument that it would actually get through the planning process, because obviously it has to, go through all that. And we're going to just go back to the Persimmon. Yeah, as was said, I proposed deferment of this. There were 3 items really that was deferred on. One was the height of that building. The second was the density of the site. Because although the density was done at the outline stage many years ago, the developer was obviously using the highest density they could in the site. They have lost the affordable homes. They have gained some parking spaces and a little bit more there. The changes I looked at looked okay to me. It's difficult to sit there and measure the room sizes and stuff like that. Certainly the gateway, if you want to call it that, looks better because primarily they've also lowered it as in terms of the actual base of it as well. So it doesn't have so much of an effect on the properties either side of it. But all you can keep doing is each, phase 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, however many of them are, is just keep fighting for, what's there. You have to, unfortunately, blame the planners of 10 years ago who were, instructed to build as much as you can and squash it in as much as you can, and don't worry about the people who've got to live there for the next 100, well, not 100 years, but the buildings are going to be there 100 years. But yeah, so it does come up as say next week, is it? Next week, yeah, planning and development control again. And I think it could be the first item on the agenda, by the way.
Right. Anybody else want to speak? No? Right. We need to have a proposal and a second on this one. Can I have a proposal that we accept? Vicky?
What are you proposing and seconding?
Oh, well, I thought that because of the change of...
So you're accepting the changes?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm just confirming that.
Yeah, okay, that's good, that's good. Right, okay, can I propose that we accept the changes on these proposals? Sorry, a proposer? Did I say a proposer? Was that Councillor Smith? Oh, no, Councillor Stitchcombe, you proposing?
Chair, the agenda item says we're noting the correspondence. We're not.
I can't hardly hear you. Sorry.
Sorry, Chair. I'm interrupting to say that the agenda says that we are noting the correspondence. We're not making a decision, or we don't have to give any feedback at all. But obviously, we might like to. But
well spotted. Right. Okay, we noted it. Right. Thank you very much.
Can I just say that you can still comment on it right up into the day of the thing. So I don't know whether the committee wants to comment on it at all, even if it is neutral.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone want to comment on it at all? No? Okay. Right, it's noted then. Thank you very much. Right. The next one is item 8. For members of the public to speak on planning matters other than applications before the working party. Is there any members of the public, Vicky? No? Okay, thank you. Item 9, to consider planning applications to West Suffolk Council. There's no members of the public. Okay, list B, which is DC 21 1302 FUL, change of use from estate agents class A2 to commercial business and service class E, 2A Camps Road. Any comments on this one? No? Councillor Dave Smith?
Did find it a little bit confusing what they were proposing. Are they, perhaps you can clear it up for me, are they proposing that the current now bar is going to move into the vacant plot on the corner? Because that's, in one of the photographs they've got there, it's got an arrow pointing to the, what was the estate agents saying nail salon. And that confused me a bit. So does that mean they were actually moving the nail salon across and the new business is going to be upstairs? No?
No, it's converting from an estate agent, which is right on the corner. Some of it's, one part is facing Queen Street and the other part is facing well, the Market Square. It's right on the corner, and it's converting from an estate agent to a nail bar. And I think the other part is just going to be spare. I think I'm not sure, but it's unless it's. See, the thing is, I think there is two shops there, which is number 2 and 2A. I think. Although it's not got it on the drawing, but that's what I'm guessing. But yeah, it's got an upstairs because I think they share the upstairs or something. Because I can't remember what's actually next door. I hope someone can help me.
So now
Right. Yeah, the nail bar is the one that's been in it, isn't it? It's the one that's changing from. Is it changing from? It's not. Right. I'm confused then because I thought it was changing to a nail bar. Right. Vicky's going to bring it up to help us.
See that picture on the right hand side there, it's got an arrow pointing up to where the estate agent says, and at the bottom of the picture it says nail salon. That's the bit that's confusing me.
Yeah, that's the sign. That's a change of sign. Because at the moment it's got Warner, who used to be the estate agent, and I think that sign is going to be changed to nail bar or nail salon, as it's got there. I think that's what that's for. It's just directly pointing to the sign. Now, this is where I'm getting confused on this bit, because this is the actual plan. If you can you make that a bit bigger, please, Vicky? See, this is where you can move it up. This dark bit is where I thought there's the nail bar, and the other bit is the retail unit, and obviously you've got the upstairs as well, which is the customer waiting room. But I'll say I'm confused. Everyone's there's Councillor Burns got his hand up, as I can see so far.
Okay, well, this is Jamie Warner's ex-estate agent. The nail bar next door to it is staying where it is. This is a brand new, so it's going to be yet another but they want to change it to Class E, which basically means it can be anything, you know, cosmetics, nail bar, whatever it might be. So unfortunately, it's loss of perhaps what we called, I mean, don't forget it used to be STP, and then it was converted into Jamie Warner's. Whether it ever actually got a Class B or whether it is for estate agent, is it Class B? Class A2. Whether it was ever got from Class A1 to A2, I don't know. And upstairs, it extends across the whole of the building. So when STP had it, they used to have the upstairs, the entire width of the two shops. So there are two separate businesses. The only thing I was going to say was you may want to consider the fact is it wants it from Class A2 to Class E, is whether or not you ask planners to keep the old A2 definition as well. So if the nail bar did ever move out, somebody else could move in there without having to do a change of use back again.
So it's the upstairs part, is that's changing, is it?
No. Jamie Warner's is changing from class A2 to E. The estate agent on the corner of Queen Street and Camps Road. But also that same premises has access to the entire width of what is now Jamie Warner's and what is now the nail bar.
See, that's where I've got confused, because this particular thing that's up at the moment is the person who's introducing herself as the nail bar person. So that's where I've got personally confused. Councillor Luccarini and then Councillor Liz Smith.
They're introducing themselves as the owner of the new nail bar, not the existing nail bar. So it's just a change of use. There's no internal changes to the layout. It's just a change of use. I agree with John. I think we should keep the existing class as well, so it can go back if needed. People are not going to be happy with another nail bar in town, but there's no reason for us not to allow them to have Class E. That's actually helpful for the high street. So, yeah, personally, I think we should be neutral on this.
So I'm not confused. There is a nail bar going in there, right? Okay, right. Councillor Liz Smith. I think. Hold on. Sorry, before Councillor Liz Smith gets on, I noticed Councillor Davison is holding his hands to his head because I don't think he agrees with what I'm particularly saying. So can I, sorry Liz, can I bring in Councillor Davison?
Yeah, if you wish.
Thank you. If you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'm getting confused at your confusion. As Councillor Burns has explained, there is a nail bar next door to where Jamie Warner was, and Jamie Warner's will now become another nail bar. So you're going to have two nail bars adjacent to each other, and above Jamie Warner's was actually financial services. So it's like a flying freehold, and that will continue. So the new nail bar will have a flying freehold over the existing nail bar. Thank you, Chair.
Right, lovely. Okay, so we're both right, really, when we think of it. Right, okay, thank you. Councillor Liz Smith?
It's already been said, really. I think from what Councillor Luccarini and Councillor Davison said, I was just going to reiterate that it is a brand new nail bar next to another nail bar. And obviously they share some of the facilities above, which it shows on the plans. But obviously there looks like they're going to be using some part of the upper floor as well for their cosmetics. Latches room, I think they're calling it, but yeah, so yes, another nail bar, which I'm not completely happy with, but as Councillor Luccarini said, probably can't say a lot about that, so I think we should be neutral, but perhaps we could put the comment in that Councillor Burns suggested, which was that we keep the old category as well. Thank you.
Are you proposing that with the neutral? With the neutral?
I will do. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Right, any more comments at all? Can we, Vicky, can we have it back to full screen, please? Makes it easier for me. Thank you. Can I have a second? Sorry, anyone else want to comment? Councillor Luccarini?
I was just going to say I'd second it.
Right, thank you very much. There's no other comment, so it's proposed we're neutral with what we're keeping the condition, the present condition as well with it. Is that right, Councillor Burns, what I'm saying?
Present class.
As the same class, right?
Well, they may say it can't be done. So Class E is this new one that came in last year, and it's got some very strange things, but it's worthwhile asking anyway, see whether you can retain Class A2 and also keep and the new E.
Okay. Right, that's proposed by Councillor Liz Smith and seconded by Councillor Luccarini. All those in favour, please show. That's everyone. Thank you very much. Application 2, which is DC 21 1329 VAR, variations of condition 2, approved plans, and 7, opening hours, in brackets, of DC 192470 FUL, to allow the use of amended plans and the extension of permitted hours to 9 AM to 11:30 PM, Monday to Thursday, 9 AM to 12:30 AM, Friday to Saturday, and 9 AM to 11 PM, Sundays and bank holidays, for change of use from a job centre, Class E, small c, so we've got a small c with that one, to fast food restaurant, Sue Generis, I think that's what he said, 65 High Street. Is that Sue Generis? But Councillor Lucrini.
There's no documents on this, so I don't know if we can really comment on the amended plans. I'm not happy with the opening time, so I think 12:30 AM is a bit too late or early, whatever way around it is. The Public Health and Housing commented last time saying that there should be a condition on this, and it should match Route 66 opposite, which is similar with flats above, which has an closing time, sorry, of 11 o'clock. I think that's what we should consider.
Thanks for that information. Thank you. Councillor Burns.
Yeah, I raised this up with planning because they were going ahead with the conversion of the old job centre. And although I didn't want to stop them, I wanted to make sure that they were not, we weren't going to get a so-called enforcement coming down and saying, well, you never built it to the plan. So they've put this in. And what you don't know on the plans, because there aren't any, is it's not just the opening hours we're talking about, it's actually the ventilation as well inside. Because originally it was going to become a wimpy bar with a long cooking area on the left-hand side with proper extractions from the ceiling. This is now a very small kitchen at the back, quite small, smaller than probably my box room here in many ways. So I was a bit worried about that. But also the opening hours planning were not happy about the fact that they had gone to licensing first to try and get a 2 AM closing and hadn't bothered looking at the conditions of the planning. So I've made sure that the licensing department and the planning department of West Suffolk were actually talking to one another. But I'm absolutely amazed that there's still no plans on it. I emailed West Suffolk last week when I downloaded all the documents, and they still haven't uploaded anything. So I have no idea what's going on there. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Has everyone seen what Colin's put up on the chat? Councillor Dave Smith and then Councillor Brown.
Yeah, if the lack of details of the variation of condition number 2, it wasn't clear what they wanted to vary, whether it was the floor plan or whether it was just the fact that the original plan said the sign details was a wimpy sign. It's not clear on there what it actually they're proposing to amend. But I echo the point about opening hours. I know we have to think about the nighttime economy, but it is a case of if one does it, they'll all want to do it, which I think is what Colin said.
Councillor Cooney, then Councillor Crooks.
I think they're amending the floor plans, Dave. They submitted different floor plans to licensing. I think this is now what they want to get permission for.
Sorry, so they haven't submitted different floor plans to planning, but only to licensing.
Yeah, so they went for a licensing application and submitted completely new floor plans, but they haven't actually got planning permission for them. As John was saying, that's where the confusion lies.
That's ridiculous.
Right, can I just clarify that, Chair? Basically, the planning application for the Wimpy Bar got permission from Class E to Class A. Well, it's Class A. Can't remember what it's now. A5 is A3, whatever it is, the new classes. Those had approved plans in them to do the ventilation, the layout, fire exit, all that sort of stuff. What the new owners, when they came in, they ignored those planning conditions, and I got Dave Beaton at planning to make sure they emailed them. They failed to reply, and eventually one day I happened to be walking down there and managed to speak to the owner, and that's why this application's in now. So there are two things they're trying to change, as I say: the opening hours, because their licensing application was for 2 until 2 a.m., ignoring the fact there's flats above, and also the fact that the ventilation and everything can change. So that's what you should be seeing on the plans, but there aren't any. So arguably, how can you even comment on it when you don't even know what the plans are?
Right, Councillor Crooks and then Councillor Brown.
Yes, it's no wonder that our residents want to go to Bury St Edmunds, Newmarket, Cambridge, anywhere but Haverhill, because you've got a town council that wants to restrict planning, the hours that businesses can open. You've got the Raj Mahal just along the block that people are in there till midnight. You've got customers coming out of the arts centre at midnight. Why can't they go and have something to eat after midnight, after coming out of the arts centre? It's just such backward thinking. Everybody's got to be at home in bed by 11 o'clock. Absolutely ridiculous. I completely support the opening hours that are proposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Brown.
Yeah, Jason just stole a bit of my thunder there, because I would say pretty much the same. The Indian down the road, there's two Chinese takeaways, quite close. There's the pub. Let's try and support that business. As Jason said, it's the high street. Let's get a little bit of nighttime economy going. Thank you.
Vicky, did you put your hand up? No, right. Councillor Creaney.
I understand what Jason and Tony are saying. I do agree that we do need to have a nighttime economy, but we have to remember there are people living above this premises. So we need to make sure that they're not going to be disturbed by a restaurant or takeaway operating to 12:30. The other restaurants and takeaways mentioned don't have flats above.
Councillor Crooks.
Well, the Raj Mahal has the same flats above, doesn't it? And people come out there at midnight.
Councillor Burns.
It's not the times now. I don't think are particularly very onerous. The problem is, Jason and Councillor Crooks, is that they wanted till 2 o'clock in the morning with music playing. That was the problem, and that's what they've changed it from.
Yeah. That's 2 o'clock's not on the application we're looking at, is it? It's 12:30.
No, but it would be if you had the paperwork. That's what they asked for. It's a licensing.
I'm for 2 o'clock anyway, so that's all right. Because remember, the Royal Exchange that kicks out at 1 o'clock in the morning. The Arts Centre is midnight. People should be able to go somewhere to eat.
Well, thinking of it, 12:30 is not very good then, is it? They won't be able to go for something to eat there at that particular place. Right. Right. Where do we go from here? Obviously, we've had a good discussion. We need a proposer and a seconder. So, is there anyone want to put their hand? Councillor Smith, I'll just notice. Councillor Dave Smith, and then I'll come to Councillor Crooks.
The fact that there is missing parts in the application, I don't think we can make a decision on this. I think we need a deferral. So I'll propose that.
You propose, right? Can I have a seconder for that then, please? I saw Councillor Davison first. So Councillor Davison second. Right. All those in favour for referral? Right. 7. All those against? Right. That's carried. Right, thank you very much. You got the reason, Vicky, haven't you, why we referred it? Yeah, okay, right. Next one, last but not least, which is application 3, which is DC 21 1383 FUL, small a, 34 apartments, small b, 3 dwellings, small c, associated access, car parking and landscaping following demolition of existing buildings. This is called the Social Services Camps Road. Any comments? Councillor Creaney?
I will declare an interest for a non-pecuniary interest before I start, since my nan does live in the Churchill development opposite or next to it, and this is going to kind of affect what I say. But I'm just concerned on the parking. I'm pleased that Churchill finally brought this development forward. It was, I think, well over a year ago that I went to the exhibition on this. But I've done a count up of the number of cars currently at the current Churchill development, and it works out about 0.433 of a car per flat. So if you times that up by the number of apartments in this new development, they're actually one space short, and there's no visitor parking. So I'm really concerned with two retirement places next to each other, both of which have no visitor parking. We're going to have a problem at some point.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Before I come to Councillor Brown, yeah, I've just made a note that it's 24 one bedrooms and 10 two bedrooms, which is 34 apartments, and there's 14 parking spaces. Councillor Brown?
Yeah, all it was thanks, Chair, was ask Aaron how does his grandmother get on? How do residents over there generally get on with their parking anyway? Is there parking issues with the current parking spaces on the other site?
So at the moment, no. So Churchill have sold, I think it's 30 apartments, roughly. There's 20 left to sell. So at the moment, there are some free spaces, but based on the current rate, once them final 20 sell, there'll be no spaces left. So at the moment, visitors are able to park in the spare spaces, but that won't be for much longer.
Thank you. Thank you for that information, Councillor Cooney. Councillor Burns?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worthwhile thinking about the history of this site. You know, it was sold by Suffolk County Council, despite us complaining like mad at the time that it should really have gone to Barley Homes, but they sold it from underneath us. And then I went for 2 days at the planning inspectorate in Clare, where the Churchill retirement homes claimed poverty and basically and viability because of the vacant old people's home that was there. So what they did get was obviously the planning permission for where Councillor Carini's nan lives now on the left there, and Weaver's Lodge as it's called, and this has actually got planning permission for 17 properties, which they've never built. This is obviously the site of the old magistrates court and the social services and everything, with the ambulance station stuck in the middle of it. I'm a little bit concerned because what we've got now is we've now got 3 houses, affordable houses, where we were going to get 5, or actually nearly 6. I think it was 5 plus the commuted value in theory, but because of the viability, they managed to get away with something like 100, I can't remember the figure, very, very low figure anyway in terms of monetary value. I agree totally about the parking. It's great, Weaver's Lodge, you know, as at the moment it's, I think it's about half full or something like that. But as soon as you start getting that, they're going to be parking on the access road up to the school, up to the ambulance station, and on Camps Road itself. So I don't know, but of course, parking for a retirement home is different from parking for normal residential. It's a lower value for some reason. They all assume that people who live in a retirement home, none of them can drive. At least it's not as bad as it was with Weavers, where they classified it as a care home until it was pointed out that it's not a care home. None of us know what's happening to the ambulance station. I think they were trying to talk to them about the ambulance station moving to the police station. Certainly, everyone thought they were going to do that, but somebody was a bit belligerent and wouldn't allow it, because that would make more sense. You could put more parking there and even more stuff there. But as Councillor Lucarini says, it's about time, although unfortunately only last week I recommended to the Police and Crime Commissioner we got a very nice magistrates court, because they're thinking about opening up remote magistrates courts in all kinds of places around the county to cater for the backlog in court cases. But it looks like that may not happen now. But generally it looks okay, because it looks very similar to Weavers. But that would be my very thing. The other thing to consider, as we mentioned earlier on about construction and everything, is there is a school there, and 8 o'clock in the morning and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there's lots of kids walking up that thing, and they have to be very wary of that. So if you're going to add any other conditions, I would say certainly about the construction management plan, making sure that the school is not affected. Thank you.
Right, yeah. Anyone else? Councillor Brown?
Yeah, I would just like to say, let's get in there quick with the electric charging points. Let's ask for electric charging points. For the
Very good point.
Places, yeah.
Right, I'm a bit confused with the letter we got from the spokesman for affordable housing. It's got, which is the planning obligation officer comments. You can put that up, Vicky. Oh, is that it? No, that's not it, Vicky. But that, I can come to that afterwards, because I want to say that planning application officer, Vicky, the second one down from the top. Yeah, he's going on about this affordable housing. I don't know what he means. Perhaps someone can sort of enlighten me, because he's saying that there's 11.1, which includes 4 shared ownership and 7.1 affordable rent housing. Councillor Burns?
Dave Birkin, who is our S106 officer now, was not around when the original 17 properties was done, went through the planning inspectorate. So I think he's not read up the paperwork that says that there's viability on this thing. So there was virtually no affordable housing for the whole site, because the whole site was considered as one site, even though it was two applications. The inspectorate considered it all one site. So the whole viability issue was reduced dramatically. And I can't remember the figure. I thought it was about £130,000. I may be wrong, for the whole site, because of they got vacant credit, whatever it's called.
They've made a fair bit of money then.
Oh yeah, that's what was argued at the thing. Unfortunately, Churchill Retirement Home brought in a very high-powered QC from London, 4 very highly respected planning people. West Suffolk brought along a planning officer, and never had a hope in hell's chance of arguing. Thank you.
I'll be with you in a minute, Councillor Brown. Vicky, can you go back to that one that you originally had up? Was it the site plan? I can't remember now. Oh, affordable housing, that was the one. No, the affordable housing one, please. So obviously these are the separate houses that I could, is it 3 of them? I'm just concerned about the third bedroom and the size of it. See, that's another thing. They don't give us any information as far, mind you, I don't need to, do they? On the size of them, the size of the rooms. But if you can sort of make them that top two left-hand corner one, or is it the middle one? The middle one with the bedrooms, and show the third bedroom, the size of it. If you can expand it a bit. See the bedroom 3, which is one person, I must admit, but it seems ever so tiny, and they're crammed in a 2-person one, 2 separate bedrooms as well. The overall size for a 2-story bedroom is 93 square meters. Now, I don't see that there's no thing on there for sizes that can give them a clue. So I think I would like to just mention about the size of the third bedroom and maybe the second bedroom, what was it, the other one with bedroom 2 as well, just to comment on that, to highlight it, because the officer that's involved, I think she's left, so there's no one sort of comment on that, the size of them now. Right, Councillor Brown.
Yeah, thanks, Chair.
Okay, Vicky, you can take that away now. Sorry, Councillor Brown.
Yeah, no problem.
And then Councillor Liz Smith. Sorry, Councillor Smith. All I've got is a block of 4 up, and I can't see quick enough who's put their hand up.
Yeah. What I was going to say is surely, if the original application was 17 units on there, now it's 37. Surely that does trigger a different affordable housing allocation. I would have thought so. Seems a bit bizarre, if there was 17 and now there's 37, and they're still, going to put the same amount of affordable housing as there was with 17. It just seems a bit bizarre.
Councillor Smith and then Councillor Burns.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to say something before Vicky took the plans down of the affordable housing, but there is a scale on there. They don't put it actually against the rooms, but there is a scale, so you can work it out based on that scale if you print it off. Or
Can Councillor Stitchcombe, could you help us out here? Could you do it on the screen? If you can put it up, please, Vicky. Can you make it very small so you can see the whole lot in one go? I think that might help.
If you look at that scale, you can compare that to the sizes of the rooms, and even the 2 rooms together. Is no more than probably 5 meters, if that is the correct scale, what it looks like it.
Yeah, it's about 5 meters wide and what, maybe 7 deep, is it?
Yeah, something like that. So the actual house footprint is only about 5 meters.
35 square, or 70 for 2. Yeah. Double it up and call it 70 for 2 stories.
Yeah, so you can work it out. I mean, it's inconvenient that they don't put the sizes on there for us, but when you've got a scale like that, obviously you can work it out.
Well, that is well down to 93, isn't it?
Yep.
God, that's disgusting.
I'll go and get a ruler and actually measure it more accurately if you want to carry on chatting.
Yeah, yes, please. Yeah. I think I've got Councillor Brown put his hand up, or was it? No, Councillor Burns, was it?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to correct something I said earlier on. Dave Birkin was around then. I've just remembered he was actually at the meeting we held in Clare for those 2 days. But I have found the original document for the S106 after, because the argument from West Suffolk was the building was only made vacant for the purposes of redevelopment by County Council. The inspector disagreed with that. They said, well, the care home had closed because obviously it moved up to Cleves Place up the road here. So it did become vacant. And as far as he was concerned, it was more important to redevelop the site than provide affordable housing. That was his actual words. I can't find the S106 for this side, but I think it covers both, and it was about 200,000 compared to whatever it would have been for 60 odd units. I'm not aware that you can go back on that S106 because it is for the site, and the fact you're putting you're putting 30 odd retirement homes versus 17 houses. I'm not aware that that you can renegotiate that S106 because it was done for outline. It was outline planning permission. It was done, and obviously it's a legal agreement between West Suffolk and they. I mean, you could certainly argue the toss and say, well, where is the S106? But I suspect, and Dave Birkin, but he's more of an expert than I am. He may come back and say, no, we can try and claim it. But I think what would happen is the developers will go back to the inspectorate again and say, look, we've been through this once already. Why should we have to do it again?
Thank you for that. Councillor, anyone else before we come back to Councillor Stitchcombe? Councillor Smith?
Yeah, please. Yeah, I was just, I may be being a bit silly here, but because it's a retirement development, it doesn't mean that the affordable housing has to be for retirees as well, does it? Surely that's for anybody that satisfies the affordable housing criteria.
Councillor Cooney?
The 3 houses are going to be sold to a housing association for rent.
Okay, thank you. That clarifies it. Thank you.
Yeah, and if I may, just to say, no, it can physically be an amount of money. It doesn't have to be physical houses, and that's what it was with the original development. It's pure money. There was no houses, affordable houses involved at all.
Thank you for that. Right, and Councillor, no, Councillor Stitchcombe, are you? Don't want to rush you. Take your time.
I'm wielding a ruler.
Right.
I've had, because it went off the screen, I've had to get my own copy down.
Oh,
I'll have to do a bit of arithmetic on a spreadsheet because my brain is not up to doing mental arithmetic at this time of night.
No,
Yeah, it's just over 5 meters wide, and it might be actually nearer, might be 9 meters deep. So that might take us towards 45 square meters per floor, or 90 overall. But it's still, I think it's still going to be on the underside of what you quoted.
right. Yeah, because it's 93. All right. It's such a shame that they're, even the minimum standard is so tiny. It's just such a shame that they get away with it. But I think, I believe that, and I hope the committee goes along with me, that we still should put it in the comments that it's 90 square meters and the minimum standard is 93 square meters. Right. Okay, Vicky, you can take it off screen now, please, so I can see everyone. Thank you. Right, is there any more comments at all? No? Vicky, have you got all the things down? Can you read them sort of things out that's been mentioned so we can be clear on it? Vicky, you're muted.
I think the only thing that you were coming up with was the parking and the minimum standards for the size of the rooms.
Yeah, for the
and
housing.
EV charging points.
Yeah, that's it.
And you may want to talk about the S106.
Yeah.
Just refer to Dave Birkin's email. That's the only thing I would say.
Right, I propose then that we object. Councillor Stitchcombe?
I've cranked it and it's 93.4 you know, give or take the fact that I'm waving a plastic ruler over a screen here. So it's almost bang on the figure that you mentioned, I think.
Right. Okay. So can you scrub that off then, please, Vicky?
That's not to say that the third bedroom might be too small. I don't know. I haven't measured that.
Oh, right. Okay. Can you
I'll have a go at that as well.
go on then, before we vote on this, please?
No pressure.
Sorry. It's just, okay, Councillor Crooks. It's just that, you know, we should, well, I feel that we should highlight these sort of things. Councillor Crooks?
Third bedrooms are often small, aren't they? A third bedroom is quite acceptable to be a what some people refer to as a box room in a house. You know, a third bedroom would quite happily have a five-year-old child in the third bedroom with a desk. It really isn't a problem. These look quite nice little houses for some young families. They really do.
Yeah, I fully agree with you if they're selling the houses, but these are cheap rented houses and affordable. You know, they're housing association rented houses. You know, I don't think that private houses would be that small. So why should rentable, affordable housing be that small? Rooms be that small? You know, it's just not. For me personally, it's not right. Councillor Stitchcombe?
I've got 2.6 meters wide by 3.1 meters long, which is about 8.2 square meters.
Right, hold on. I don't know if
2.6 by 3.1.
I don't know if I've got individual room sizes on mine.
It's on some document somewhere because we've talked about
Hold on, I'll have a look.
first bedrooms and first double bedrooms and second double bedrooms, and I think we've eventually got down to other bedrooms, haven't we? Somewhere.
Can I interject, Chair?
Yes, Councillor Burns, yeah.
I think as Councillor Crook says, I think the plans, if I vaguely remember, are showing a single bed in that room.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, I'm sitting in an office here at the moment, which is my old son's spare bedroom, and it's probably less than that size. So I think you'll find, I'm pretty certain for a single bedroom, that sort of size is probably okay.
Yeah, I feel the one that's the worst is bedroom 2, personally.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. He looked at bedroom 1, which is the smallest, I must admit, but bedroom 2. So I can't find the single rooms. That's the trouble. What the size standard is on that?
Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, you. Okay, looking for that. Dropbox.
Excuse me, Chair, I'm a bit confused. So the 93.4 square metres was for the second bedroom, wasn't it?
No, that is the whole house, the
The whole
two-story
house.
Yeah. Yeah, which is the minimum size standard.
Okay.
So we can't say anything on that. It's just the individual rooms. No, I can't find individual rooms. I can only find one bedroom, one bed. Ah, no, that's the number of bed spaces.
Yeah.
Does that count? 39 or 37 square meters? Councillor Stitchcombe, and then Councillor
for the bed 2, I've now got is pretty much the same width as bed 1, 2.6 and a bit times 4.4, bringing it to about 11.7 or something like that square meters.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Councillor Smith.
I agree the rooms may be small, but obviously we haven't got a policy on room sizes, and that's the problem. So no. I don't really see how we can object on that. No, so you may want to object on the lack of parking spaces or whatever. But I think we can only go neutral here and put in an opinion, a suggestion.
No, what we can do, I'll come to Councillor Brown after Councillor Burns. What we can do is we can separate it. We can object on parking, say, things like that, if you want, and obviously give a comment on the room standards. We can't object to that size standards. As you rightly said, it's not, it's not law with the council. So, but we still comment. You can still put comments as well as objections. Am I right on that, Vicky?
I don't know.
It doesn't,
Colin,
it
could you
doesn't sound
help
right
us
to
on
me.
that?
How can you have a hybrid opinion? You either support it or you're neutral or you oppose it. I don't see how you can mix it.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Right, okay, so we can't then, I'm wrong. Right,
And I don't actually see why we can't object to something, even if we know that
Exactly.
Dev Control are not going to be able to do anything about it. If we're not happy with it, we say we're not happy. It's only an
We can
opinion.
do what we want. We're a town council planning committee. We're not West Suffolk planning committee. We can, comment and object to what we like.
That's
Yes.
fair enough. But yeah, fair enough. If you want to object to it, but don't say would you object to one part.
No, that was no, Councillor Smith. I'll hold you up on that. That was my fault saying that. I was wrong. So I thought we could do it, and I was wrong. Councillor Burns.
Yeah, one bed space, a single bedroom should have a floor area of at least 7.5 square meters and at least 2.15 meters wide.
So you're saying bedroom 2 is too small?
No, that was the third bedroom I was talking about. One bedroom.
Right. So that's okay.
A double bedroom should have a floor area of at least 11.5 square meters. And at least 2.75 meters wide. Oh, sorry, 2.55 meters wide.
So can you, Councillor Sexton, can you correct us what we're saying now then, that the councillor, the third bedroom's okay for minimum size standards, but the second bedroom's not? Is that right or wrong?
Chair, I would just comment on it to say the minimum space standards ideally should be checked, although you appreciate there's no legal, in West Suffolk, there's no legal thing, but just ask the question.
Okay.
I wouldn't get into detail personally.
Councillor Brown?
If a committee isn't happy with the size of the room, then surely we should object, and also to the parking. So just straightforward as that. Object on minimum space standards and parking.
And obviously the electric charges as well.
Yeah, but that's just a comment that we're yeah.
Okay, right. I think we're clear now, and I do apologise for getting that wrong. Which has confused the matter even more. Right. Okay. Can I propose that we object on them 3 items, on them 3 things that's just been said by Councillor Brown. Can I have a seconder for that, please? Councillor Creaney? All those in favour, please show. Six, right. All those against? 2 against, right. Okay, that's carried. Thank you very much for that. Very good discussion, that. Bear with me while I get back to the agenda. Oh, I've lost it.
That's the report, I suspect.
I've lost it. I do apologise. Bear with me.
Chair, it's matters to report, item 10.
Okay. Item 10, matters to report. Councillor Stitchcombe.
I think driving past 74 High Street, which is KD Nail's extension across the road from the salon, I saw an illuminated sign over the window. but I'm not aware that went through planning permission, did it?
Councillor Burns and then Councillor Lucrini.
Well, I think Councillor Lucrini ought to reply to that because I've got some new items.
Okay, Councillor Lucrini.
Yeah, there's a number of issues outstanding with the now bar. It's been reported to enforcement and I've followed up Friday on it. Hopefully there'll be some enforcement soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'll come back to plan your night specs, won't it? Right, thank you. Councillor Burns.
Right, I put in my report for tomorrow night, but as this is planning, I'll just quickly do it. Obviously the Vixen's now all boarded up in Milford's Way. They did reckon that they were going to be starting work in 2 months' time, but as I mentioned in my report, the planners contacted the owner last week, and they couldn't make them understand that they had to comply with planning conditions for the site. There's also a doubt or the discussion about whether the fact they've just knocked down a very small part of the building, whether that has actually triggered the planning conditions. I think I'm getting the impression the planners don't think that's enough. There's no work being done, there's no building work being done or anything like that. There's loads of conditions, as I think I mentioned before, about enlarging the car park and shoring up the road and putting lighting in the car park, none of which from what I'm hearing, the owners knew anything about. I think I keep saying I think this might have been a Homes Under the Hammer job where they've ignored the golden rule of reading the legal pack. So that's that. So hopefully the planners will contact them soon and come up with a meeting. If the planning is not extant, I personally suggested knock the whole thing down and start again, but that's my view. The other one is the Great Willesey. There's people who drive past there or walk past there will know that they're getting on well with the chalkstone bit. I have queried something on that because they're building some sort of internal road which doesn't appear on the plan, so I'm trying to work out what's going there. But I was told by the planning officer today, who's on holiday actually, that the construction management plan is about to be approved because highways are happy with it for both that, the Chalkstone Way bit, and what's the road called? Haverhill Road. So once they get that, they'll start building those 30 houses off Chalkstone Way and obviously the roundabout or enlarging the roundabout. I think that's it at the moment. Thank you. Hopefully you got that, Vicky.
They're affordable, aren't they?
Sorry, say again. So I can't.
30 houses. Some of them are affordable, or am I wrong?
No. This is. I don't think any of them are affordable. I think it's 26 houses plus 4 show houses they're putting up. Then they're going to stop and review everything, and I think they're going to do a consultation with local residents about how they thought all the construction went. So they get on to them before they get on to the next phase.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know 2 people who've bought houses for the main road area already. So they seem to be going like hotcakes before they even built.
Well, which friends, Pat?
Well, not friends. No, they're not friends.
Okay.
No, they're just people that I sort of see around town that I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Anyone else? No? Right. Thank you very much. I've got the agenda back again now. So, and this is item 11, which is the date of the next meeting. And I hope this is correct because I don't know what day it is. I think it's the 26th today. Yeah, I'm right. Right. The next meeting's on Tuesday, the 10th of August. Okay. Right. Thank you, everyone. That was a very good discussion. And thank you for attending.